Welcome to Chapter 14. Simone nickt und lächelt. Sehr interessant. Well, Nick, maybe you know someone called Nick, Nicholas, Niklaus, whatever. And it's common knowledge that everyone with the name Nick likes to nod a lot. Yeah, so she nods and lächelt. There's two words you might know. Lachen, you see it's in there. And maybe you already have heard the word lächerlich, which also contains the word lach. Yeah, so lächerlich means laughable. So it's related to laughing, but with an A umlaut, it is actually the small laughing, which is a smile. So she nods and smiles. Sehr interessant, very, very much interesting. Yeah, interessant. Die Möpse des Kanzlers sind anscheinend nicht besonders beliebt. Here we have again an agglomeration of nouns. Nouns are words that have a capital letter, and in English they always come with a the, while you can turn everything into a noun almost. These are capitalized by nature, yeah, in the dictionary. Möpse des Kanzlers. So Kanzler, you know by now, yeah, it's the chancellor. So the Möpse we might have mentioned before is not the mob, but let's say the mob really, really loves pugs. And therefore these are the pugs of the chancellor. Sind, you know by now. By the way, if you know Sindbad, Sindbads in general are very charming fellows. Yeah, so anyone who is called Sindbads, yeah, maybe that helps. So are here anscheinend. We have scheinen before. Die Sonne scheint, to shine, but if you actually look at this and look it up on its own, it is seem, to seem. Now with this an and the d at the end, it turns into seemingly, not. And besonders, I just give it to you, especially. I'm never sure whether it's especially or specially. Intuitively would go for especially. And here we have beliebt, our favorite word, liebt, love, and let's copy the B, beloved. Yeah, so they are seemingly or anscheinend. In this case, yeah, it's the best, makes sense. Seemingly, any better word? Apparently, that's a nice word. So not really charming, these little bugs. Das heißt, es gibt viele potenzielle Täter. There's two sentences here. A comma, usually, unless it's a list of things or activities or attributes, is always like a full stop. So das heißt, and you might know ich heiße from whatever course you've done before. Haven't really taught this because it comes automatically. So it comes from heißen. Yeah, ich heiße. So literally that's I am called Michael. Yeah, it's not, yeah, that's all it means. So das heißt simply means that means. Yeah, you could also say I mean Michael. Also interesting. Yeah. There's another word for meaning if you go the other way around. So translation is sometimes a one-way road, and if you go the same road back, you will get something else. Yeah. We also have the word meinen and also Meinung, which has a lot to do with mine. Yeah, my meaning. So maybe it's a meaning, something that belongs to me. Also nice. So that means es gibt, you remember that, right? There is or there are viele, and remember Michael feels a lot, so a lot. Potenzielle is the same in English, and you know potenzielle, if you hear this, it sounds like a TS, so potential. And the Tat is the deed, as you can see, it's the TTDD, and the deeder is the doer, or in case of a crime, it's a culprit. I don't know where this word comes from, you look it up yourself, but in German, a culprit is the guy or the person, not gender dependent. Täter could also mean a woman, but we also have a specific gender suffix. So it means the guy or the woman that does things and does the crime. You wouldn't use the word Täter in any other context other than maybe grammar analysis, which we are not doing necessarily. Here's a little mistake, which I have since taken out. Denkt sich die Detektivin. So all this what you've just read, like there are many potential culprits, is what die Detektivin, and you see the gender indicator here, which is Simone, the detective, female detective, denkt, so thinks. And you see the similarity, I hope, right? D turns into TH as always, or as so often, not always. Thinks by herself, the detective, female detective, which is Simone. Und was hat es mit dem Nachbarn auf sich, der keine Tiere mag? These are two sentences. I kill these. So, und it takes no space. Second position is hat. This is a tricky one. It's beyond A1, don't worry about it. So it is a fixed expression, etwas auf sich haben. And you don't have to remember this at all, just to show you how this works at times. It's not important that you really understand everything right away. Yeah. So you can also just look this up in a dictionary, and etwas auf sich haben simply means what's with. In this case, English is simpler. And the dictionary would... Oh, it doesn't work? Here we are. And what is it about the neighbor? Well, what is it about the neighbor? What's with the neighbor? Yeah. I don't go into a deeper analysis of that part, but here we have der keine Tiere mag. The der here, without a capital letter word following, is usually that. But here the that is of course referring to the first word before the comma, first noun, not the first word. And as it's a person, I would translate it as who, not any, animals, mag. Remember, mag came from mögen, which means to like. I don't know, do you like Marky Mark? Yeah, you can see how old I am by the names I remember, not that I have much of a memory here. Mark Wahlberg, I think that's him, right? From Ted, the movie. Maybe you should watch that. So mögen, mag. Ich mag Mark. Maybe ich mag Mark. Zuckerberg, the Sugar Mountain. Easy to remember, whether you like him or not. So what is it about the neighbor? Who doesn't like, or who no animals likes? Who likes no animals? Yeah, this is how we speak in German, or at least how we also think in German. In diesem Moment fängt es an zu regnen. Theoretically, this is also two sentences. This comma is not necessary, I just put it here for you to see. Yeah. So in diesem Moment, we have this actually quite a few times in the text, easy going, and you have fängt and an. And anfangen is to begin. And you see, yeah, my fangs are beginning to hurt, I have to cut them. Yeah, I have way too long. And I know that fangs are not necessarily nails, yeah, or actually I suspect that, I actually don't know. But fangs are these of a bird. So they have actually, it might actually be the naily stuff, right? Or it might be the whole thing. You figure that out as well. So the fangs are beginning to grow too long. So es fängt an, and that's because, how do we say that? This es is used as a general it begins, like in English. So it begins zu and regnen. I'm not sure whether we talked about Ronald Reagan. If you are too young, you might not have heard of him. But he really, he was loving the rain in Germany. Regen, yeah, also a masculine noun. And regnen is simply the verb of it. And we don't say regnen because it's one syllable too much. We say regnen, we kill this E. So in this moment, it starts to rain. And the structure here was very close to English. Simone sucht unter dem Vordachschutz. Sucht, you know, such a search, like the one we see here with the dogs, is really something. Searches, and she searches what? Let's take a look at this. Here is the word Schutz. Shut up, I protect you. Yeah, if you want my protection, you have to shut up. So Schutz simply means protection, and we have, for example, what do we have? Schutz. Well, the one word that comes to mind is Schutzschirm, shrimp, umbrella. And the Schutzschirm is a protective umbrella, or another word for schirm is actually shield. Well, the umbrella is a shield against rain. So protective shield is a Schutzschirm. Yeah. We have Wachschutz, which is basically security. And the Wach simply means wake, so these are very awake, so they can protect you. So that's a little bit of context for the Schutz. And where does she search or seek protection? Under, very obvious, the Vordach. For means before or in front in this case, and the Dach is what you have on your roof, and that is the roof. So she's under the front roof. Yeah, sometimes the houses have a little roof for above the door, for example, and there she looks for protection. Dach. Yeah, it comes again. I'll go into this later. Die alte Dame öffnet ihren Schirm und fragt. Here we have the Schirm, shrimp again. Sometimes learners write Regen, shrimp. Yeah. We have, by the way, we have Regen, the rain, shrimp, Schirm, and den Sonnenschirm. One other word, Bildschirm. What is that? That's actually an interesting thing. Well, Bild is the image, and the Schirm here is the screen. It's the screen that shows the image. Yeah. So you also, well, Sonnenschirm, you might be tempted to say it's sunscreen. In a way it is, but it is the umbrella kind of screen, because sunscreen, the stuff you put on your skin and your face, hopefully, is usually it's Sonnenmilch, sun milk. You see this, it's a little bit messy, not sure why we didn't stick to each other's languages more, but just that you see Bildschirm is a screen. Yeah, ich sitze viel vorm Bildschirm, I'm spending a lot of time in front of that. So, die alte Dame, you should identify immediately. The old dame. Öffnet, we look at it. Ear is same in English. H-I-R. Yeah, H-E-R. But you see it's the same, right? And the Schirm is, of course, the umbrella. She doesn't open her screen of the computer. And Fraggles are annoying because they ask so much. So what is she doing with her umbrella? It's only two things you can do with it. You open it and you close it. So öffnen is related to often, and you might remember that I said the F often turns into a P. So she opens her umbrella and asks. What does she ask?